Chandan Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam, Chandan here.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Chandan Prabhu, how are you doing?
Doing good, Prabhuji. Doing good. Actually, I supposed to travel to the other location, but company, the client said that you can work remotely. That's why I'm still in Chicago.
Hmm. Hmm. Otherwise, your job and sadhana, everything is stable?
Everything, job is stable now, and sadhana also going on, Prabhuji.
Hari.
Job is good. That like I was so much tension last month. October to December, middle of December, I was so busy, so tense to get a job. But finally, with the Krishna mercy, I'm into job, and now everything is going good. I've got a good role also in the company. It's good.
Good. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we have to begin from 18th chapter. I think we covered about the summary of Karma Yoga. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Mataji Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Should we wait for a few minutes? Can we begin? I think I'll start offering prayers. We can begin now. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिसिद्धान्त नामिने श्री वर्षभानुवी देवी दायिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्ति विप्रलम्ब रसाम्भोधे पादाम्बुजायते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगावरायते गौरविर्भाव भूमेष्टम निर्दिष्ट सज्जना प्रिया वैष्णव सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः जयतु सुरतो पंगो मम मंदा मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्भोजौ राधा मदन मोहन दिव्या वृंदारण्य कल्पद्रुमाद श्रीमत् रत्नागार सिंहासनस्तु श्रीमती राधा शीला गोविंद देवो प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन् रासरसारम्भी वंशी वटतस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुसुनेर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीयेष्टुना पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकां कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंगायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् Okay. Mm. So we'll continue our 18th chapter. We are probably this will take three more sessions, or at least two more sessions to finish this 18th chapter. We discuss about summary of Karma Yoga. Now the three modes. So Krishna explains in this section knowledge in three modes, karma in three modes, worker in three modes, determination in three modes, happiness in three modes. So further more elaboration on three modes. Okay. Uh, Knowledge in mode of goodness is that by which one undivided spiritual nature, spirit soul, is seen in all living entities. Though they exist in innumerable forms like a demigod, human being, animal, bird, beast, aquatic, or plant, and so on. So, knowledge in mode of goodness is when a living entity sees spirit soul uh, in every living entity. This is actually a very advanced state. Um, when one can see that everyone is everyone is a spirit soul. Like if we see there is a dog, there is a cow, there is an elephant, there is a dog eater, there is a brahmana, then our knowledge is in mode of passion, because we are seeing just the body. We are not able to see that this is part and parcel of Krishna. In 13th chapter, Krishna says, um, if one sees the spirit soul in every living entity, he does not degrade by his mind. But one who sees every living entity as a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna, then there will naturally be respect, um, and yeah, respect for all living entities. So this is knowledge in goodness, where we can see spirit soul everywhere. Mode of passion. Knowledge in mode of passion is when we see different living entities. The knowledge by which one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity. You should understand to be in a mode of passion. Uh, um, all philosophy, like some people say we are the body or the soul is body. Some say soul is Brahman. Some say we are God, you are God, everybody is God. All these different philosophies are all mode of passion. And yeah, different opinions about soul, they are all mode of passion. Mode of goodness, one can see everyone is spirit, soul, part and parcel of Krishna. Knowledge in ignorance uh, is that by which one is attached to one kind of work as all in all, without knowing the truth, and which is very meager. So knowledge in ignorance is um, 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 he is attached to certain work, and then he, that 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 engagement is all in all for the other person, and he is not able to see a broader picture. Like I may be attached to getting a higher position in my job, and I'm working for that, and that's the goal of my life. Now, um, this is knowledge in ignorance, where something which is very small, um, one makes goal of their life something as that. um, okay, so summary: knowledge about spirit soul beyond this body is in goodness. Knowledge producing many theories by dint of mundane logic and speculation is a product of passion, and knowledge concerned only with keeping the body comfortable is said to be in mode of ignorance. If I see spirit soul everywhere, knowledge in goodness. If I see the bodies and identify them with the body, then I have, this is my knowledge that this is the body, this is the body, this is the body, and this is meant for my enjoyment. That knowledge is in mode of passion, and the knowledge which is all about how can I be happy in this material world, what all I need, and working in that direction, that is knowledge in mode of ignorance. Now, then there is karma in three modes. Karma in mode of goodness, um, um, it is regulated. Karma which is regulated is in mode of goodness. Actually, regulation itself is a mode of goodness. If you get up every day same time, if you take breakfast every day same time, you work every day same time, you cook every day same time, you sleep every day same time. So if your life has regulation, that is sign of goodness. And if not, then it is sign of passion. um, then we'll see with example Arjuna's fighting done with detachment, karma which is done with detachment. Last week we saw karma done with detachment is not possible unless we have developed a higher attachment to Krishna. Because when we are attached in a positive direction, then our heart flows there, and everything can be done as a matter of duty without detachment. But if our heart is not flowing in a higher direction, um, mm, then naturally we will be working with some expectation, because we need some juice in everything we do. We cannot be like detached from everything. Like that is Buddhist philosophy. Buddhist philosophy means the cause of suffering is desire, which is true. So Buddhists say if you want to become free from suffering, become desireless. And Prabhupada said that is not possible. Rather, we have to direct our desire and strengthen our desire in spiritual direction. Then it is possible. So then with detachment, when that is the case, like Arjuna was fighting for the pleasure of Krishna, Duryodhan was fighting for the kingdom. So Duryodhan karma was in passion. He's doing his duty. As a Kshatriya, his duty is to fight, but his karma is in passion. Arjuna's karma is in goodness or transcendental, because without detachment, without like or dislike. Initially, Arjuna's karma was in passion. Why? I don't like to kill. I don't want to do this. Um, um, but then, after getting knowledge from Krishna, Arjuna's um, um, work became without like or dislike. He started doing it because Krishna wants me to do it. So let me do. So um, some duties we are interested to do, some duties we may not be interested to do. But if we do it, keeping Krishna in the center, well, Krishna wants me to do this, then your duty is in goodness. But if you don't like to do some duty, and if you like, okay, somehow or other, I will escape from doing that duty. And if you like to do something, then you want to do that what you like to do more and more. Then we are in passion, and we are certainly driven by our attachments. So, without like or dislike, that karma is in mode of goodness, and with no desire for fruitive results. Okay, why are you doing your duty? Um, I am doing my duty as a matter of duty. I don't want anything from for myself in doing my duty. um, Guru and Krishna wants me to do it. It is my duty. Let me extend myself, let me stretch myself, let me do it. So if it is done without anything in return, um, then it is goodness. Like Srila Prabhupada, 70 years old, living in Vrindavan. Usually people at an old age go to the holy places. Um, um, his health was not keeping well as well. His health was not good. He was fully absorbed. He would attend different aratis throughout the day, and fully absorbed in in the mood of Vrindavan. Um, and then to take a ship, 2 months, seasickness, heart attack, and meeting with people who are completely disinterested in Krishna consciousness. 70-year-old man does not even have proper clothing. Swami in a Western world where the culture is complete nonsense in a way. Uh, um, and and he does not want anything. He does not want to become famous. He does not want n number of followers. He does not want anything. He said, "Well, I have come here, left Vrindavan to this hellish place because I am bound by duty. I have given my words to my spiritual master, and so I must do it." So this is karma in goodness. He is doing it without fruitive, without any desire for any personal motivation. He is doing it just for the sake of doing it. Now, when we are doing it for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, Krishna would Krishna wants me to do it. When we are doing it for that purpose, it is desireless. When we desire Krishna, it is desireless. Desireless actually means no material desires. I don't want anything for myself, um, but I am doing it for the sake of um, it's my duty. I must do it. Guru and Krishna will be happy. Example can be routine work for housewives who cook, especially if we are cooking for ourselves. It becomes activity in mode of passion. If we are cooking, say, without detachment, cooking for the sake of cooking as a matter of duty, we are cooking, then that becomes mode of goodness. um, okay. Now karma and passion, we'll go with the example of Duryodhan, um, done with great labor. Duryodhan was trying so hard, uh, um, and um, many times done with false ego. The third point, done with false ego. Done with false ego means to prove oneself. Sometimes people at work, they want to get some results so that they can show to others that I am intelligent, or I am efficient, or I am obedient, or etc. When the purpose is to prove oneself, um, then that becomes false ego. Um, Purpose is for one's own name and fame, anything. Now, when there is such, when the work is done with such false ego, to prove oneself for name and fame, then if you get name and fame, you become proud, and if you don't get, you'll become depressed. Or if things does not go as your way, you will get into a lot of anxiety, because done with work in passion, the result is mixed. Sometime you will get um, praises, and sometime you will get suffering. The result is mixed. Done seeking to gratify one's senses. So Duryodhan was fighting for the sake of kingdom. um, I want to be the king. So these are work in passion. When we are working and we are attached to the result of the work, um, um, that that karma, that work is in mode of passion. Um, Most of the people, no need to say that, but most of the people, their karma is in mode of passion. And then karma and ignorance goes side by side with karma and passion. Karma and ignorance uh, leads to bondage by yamdutas. Basically, um, when we do certain activities which are not prescribed in scriptures, but we do it just because we are attached to sense gratification. So that kind of karma is in ignorance. Karma means we are doing something. Now, why am I doing it? Well, I'm seeking some pleasure, some happiness for myself. Okay, that's okay. you are seeking some happiness for yourself, so it's either passion or ignorance. When I am doing as a sake of duty, it is goodness. When I am doing it for my happiness, it's either passion, ignorance. Is the work according to scriptures? Yes. This is according to my varnashram dharma. Okay, then you are in passion. No, the scripture says this is not a right thing to do. Then the work is in ignorance. Just for example, cooking animals, killing animals, buying animals, selling animals, transporting animals, animal flesh, leads to bondage by Yamdutas. It is destructive. You are harmful to self and others. You yourself will, like scriptures explains, um, um, very heavily, that we have to take our birth and we'll go through the similar experience, of pain that we cause others in this life. We will go through the same pain. Actually, every suffering we give to others, any kind of suffering we impose on others by our words, by our behavior, by our actions, by our facial expressions, by our physical abuse, whatever pain we cause to others, we cannot escape it. Laws of nature, no one can escape. Everything comes back to us. Sometimes we may think, that's okay, let me do something wrong. um, Everything is going to come back to us. This material world, we cannot hide anything from anyone. um, so that is harmful to the self and to the others without considering the consequences. Let me do it. Why? Because I am too attached. uh, but what will happen if you do it? Well, I don't care right now. Let me do it because I'm too attached. For example, Prabhu, don't eat animals. Why? You will go through sinful suffering reactions. um, I don't believe in all these things and I will eat it. So that's like without considering consequences, although doesn't matter whether a person believe or not. The word is designed in such a way everything comes back to us. If you do good to others, it will come back to you. The way, um, anything you do, it is noticed. So the ideal life you can live is the life of service. Try to serve others, try to serve Krishna, try to serve spiritual master, um, and um, be sensitive in how you talk to others. um, mm, Try to collect blessings, try to keep everyone happy, try to collect blessings. Then your spiritual life will be very, very nice actually. So without considering consequences, that becomes karma and ignorance. I don't care what happens tomorrow. I just want to do this today. No, not like that. In this regarding scripture says this is not good, but we may still want to do it. Then that becomes karma and ignorance. And in illusion, work done in illusion. um, um, Illusion basically means I don't know what is right, what is wrong. And illusion means what is wrong looks right to me. I must do it. And then my knowledge is covered, because I'm so mad and I'm so driven to do it. So then it's moha, maya. Maya means illusion. Maya means when we are covered, we engage in certain activities which are not according to scriptures. And mm, yeah, that is karma and ignorance. So routine work like cooking. Now if you see, if I am cooking without any attachments, for example, if you are cooking for your son, for example, your kid's son or daughter, whoever, if they like bread butter and you don't like it, suppose, and then you're cooking bread butter, your work is in goodness, without attachment. Um, but if you cook bread butter for Krishna, then your work becomes transcendental. And if you cook bread butter because you really like eating bread butter, then your cooking becomes passionate. While cooking, you will be in passion to enjoy it while cooking itself. So then your work becomes passionate. And if you cook like animal flesh, then your cooking becomes ignorant. So cooking can be in any of the three moods. Likewise, office work. If you do office work without attachment to the results that may come out of it, maybe just for the sake of maintaining the family, that is goodness. If you are working thinking you are working for the benefit of Krishna, for the benefit of Guru, for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, whatever work you do, um, then it becomes transcendental. And if you are working um, because you are very much attached, that becomes passion. And if your work involves gambling, um, or um, sinful activities, if your work involves those kind of activities, then your work becomes karma and ignorance, office work. Chanting can also be like that. Chanting can be, I'm chanting to make spiritual progress. That is transcendental. Spiritual desire is good. I'm chanting to get rid of envy, anger, lust, pride, ego in my heart. That is also transcendental. Um, 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 I am chanting, but I don't want anything from chanting. I am chanting just for the sake of chanting because I am a spiritual part and parcel of Krishna, and it is my duty to serve Krishna. Krishna says, Bhagavad Gita everywhere, devotional service, I must do it. Again, mode of goodness and transcendental. But I am chanting, like yesterday, one person called and he said, Prabhu, I had an exam. Student, Prabhu, I had an exam. So I chanted 2 rounds so that I can pass the exam. Now that becomes chanting in passion. And then sometime we may chant, and because somebody harmed me, uh, I am chanting so that that person may suffer. I want the other person to suffer. So it is destructive, harmful to the self and others. Um, and then we are praying to Krishna uh, to harm others, to teach somebody a lesson. They cause me suffer. Why? They should also suffer. So when that is the mood, that grudge mood is there in chanting, then your chanting will become also an ignorance. So it doesn't matter what you do. What matters is why you are doing it. For what are you doing it? That defines whether your karma. Now, karma, we are performing karma day and night. We cannot live without performing karma. Morning till night, we are doing something. If you are doing something, means there is karma. Whether it is taking bath, that is also karma. Talking to someone, everything is karma. Cooking, office work, going out for shopping, uh, cleaning utensils, cleaning the house. Everything is karma. And see, in these three category, what is my intention behind grocery shopping? What is my intention behind pot washing? Pot washing, usually such kind of activity you do it just as a matter of duty, without attachment. That becomes goodness. Then you will feel good about it. When your work is in passion, you will become agitated by it. Lot of material desires will kind of spring up. But when you do activity like cleaning activity, usually cleaning activities are in mode of goodness. Nobody wants anything out of it because there is nothing that comes out of it. No material desires are fulfilled usually. um, so they will make you peaceful. Actually, goodness brings peace. But higher than that is, this is Krishna's house, I am cleaning. So any activity which is transcendental, by default, it is in goodness. By default. So you will get the benefit of goodness, plus same activity you are making progress. So so this is something about karma in three modes. Any question? Any questions? Okay. Okay. Now worker. Now karma. The work we are doing can be in three modes. What about the worker? Um, so one is the activity itself, and one is Am I in three modes? I mean, yes. Which mode am I in? That depends upon similar factors that we discussed about karma, similar factors for the worker also. Okay, worker in mode of goodness, detached. Detached. We saw that. Mm. Devoid of false ego. This also we saw. When I am working, when, for example, somebody, uh, um, for example, I did something wrong. I said something wrong. I behaved in a wrong manner, and uh, now I realized Paramatma told me within my heart, you were wrong. Now, if I beg forgiveness, then I'm in goodness. So basically, I'm not acting out of false ego. Um, if I kind of went into the loop of mental thoughts, that actually I was right. There is the Lord and the intellect telling me, no, you were wrong. But I don't want to take a humble position. Then I become in passion. Then I go in passion. So devoid of false ego means what is right, the person is willing to do. False ego is actually our one of our enemies on spiritual path. Um, Obstruct us from pleasing Krishna. Um, um, who is a pure devotee? One lecture I heard, a pure devotee is one, whatever Krishna says, the pure devotee says, yes, sir, I will do it. Um, who is the impure devotee? When Krishna says you should act in this manner, and we say, no, that is too difficult. I cannot do that. So then our work becomes um, afflicted by false ego. Then determined, we will see determination in three modes. Determined, um, karta, worker in goodness, determined, for example, chanting 16 rounds. Today I don't feel like doing it. Today I don't feel like doing it. So I'm not determined to do my sadhana, to do my reading, to do my spiritual life, or whatever. If I may have, uh, my schedule may be every day I'm washing pots in the home, and today I don't feel like doing it. Today I don't feel like cleaning. So when we are not determined with our duty, then we go into passion again. But when we are determined, it is in goodness. Enthusiastic, enthusiastic mode of goodness, and unwavering in success or failure, good or bad, I will do it. Um, for example, um, because um, passion means I am the enjoyer. That's passion. For example, um, we come to know many times, if I do this, I will not be able to do my service nicely. So I don't feel like doing it because I'm not in good consciousness today. I won't be able to do it. And then if I don't do it, um, then I go into passion. Why? Because I'm the enjoyer. Um, um, if I can, um, I may be defamed by doing my service because I'm not in good consciousness. So that is passion. Goodness means doesn't matter how I feel. Um, I will continue my service to Guru and Krishna. Doesn't matter what happens, what other things about me, what results I get. So unwavering in success or failure. He just do it as a matter of doing it. Arjuna, detached, devoid of false ego, um, determined, enthusiastic, unwavering in success or failure. Um, Srila Prabhupada is another example. Unwavering in success or failure. He went through a lot of failures. He continued. He got a lot of success. He did not become proud. He continued. So, worker in mode of goodness. He was always enthusiastic to spread Krishna consciousness. Um, People were not responding. Um, um, especially in India, he would work whole night. He would get up at 12 a.m., 1 a.m., and he would write back to Godred magazines. So he was very enthusiastic. And then he would go to Delhi and he would get back to Godred magazines printed. He would come and um, um, morning after he would get up at 12 o'clock, around till 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, he would write, and then he would take bath and finish his rounds during Brahma Muhurat time. And then he would go and take darshan in different temples. Then on the way back, he would bring some vegetables and he would start preparing for his lunch. He would come back by around 10:30, prepare his lunch 1:30, and then after lunch, he would go out and he would distribute back to Godhead magazines. And nobody was showing any interest in transcendental subject matter. And depressed, I mean, it's very depressing when you are doing something for the welfare of, he doesn't want anything for himself other than pleasing his spiritual master. And if you are working so hard for the sake of others and only for the sake of others, and you get no reciprocation at all whatsoever, that's quite depressing. But in that situation, he would again come back, do his remaining sadhana. He would read those days and take rest, again get up at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and again with full enthusiasm, he would write back to Godhead magazine for the next month. And nobody was showing interest, and he was pushing himself very much. So enthusiastic, always, independent of results, unwavering in success or failure, and determined. Determined to spread Krishna consciousness wherever, whoever is willing to accept Krishna consciousness. He was willing to give his every last bit of his life for the welfare of others. Then, who is worker in mode of passion? He is attached to work. This I like to do, so I want to do it more. This I don't like to do, so I don't want to do it. Desires to enjoy results. Um, in fact, he's eager um, for results to come so that he can enjoy. And um, greedy means he's never satisfied. He wants more and more. Um, envious. Anybody who has desire to enjoy will be envious by nature, because when when I have desire to enjoy, then I cannot tolerate others enjoying, because then I feel like all enjoyment is meant for my pleasure. Somebody else is enjoying which I cannot enjoy, then I will become envious of him. So a worker in mode of passion is always envious. He burns seeing other success. If you are burning seeing other success, that's a sign that I'm working for my pleasure. And actually, that is normal. That is kind of um, um, common in this material world. So the only way out is advancement in one's own Krishna consciousness, so that we are fully attracted to Krishna. Then we can become detached from our work, the results of our work, because param drishtva nivartate, we have to enjoy somewhere. Unless we are enjoying on a higher platform, we will naturally be driven to enjoy on a lower base level platform, because we lack that. So along with our routine, Krishna consciousness transformation does not happen all of a sudden, but it's like whatever you are doing, it will be very difficult to change, but you accept Krishna. Srila Prabhupada said, no need to reject anything. Just be who you are. Add Krishna consciousness, chant the holy name, read Bhagavad Gita, just add Krishna and live your life normally. Just follow regulative principles. Don't eat meat, don't take intoxication, don't have illicit sexual relationship outside your marriage. Just follow the basic principles and chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and every day read. Bhagavad Gita and Shrimad Bhagavatam. First Bhagavad Gita, if you are done with Bhagavad Gita, then read Shrimad Bhagavatam. Just do these things, and all the principles of Bhagavad Gita will fall in place. If you try to become a worker in goodness, you will find yourself impossible to apply it. If you want your karma to be in goodness, so these principles of Bhagavad Gita follow spiritual advancement. As you advance, um, these principles will follow you, because the principle behind entire Bhagavad Gita, the the strength to be able to follow these things will come from param drishtva nivartate. You have to enjoy on a higher plane, and that comes to the extent the especially in the beginning, Krishna consciousness is very difficult because of the impurities in our heart. But as you practice Krishna consciousness, chanting, reading, association, you start to develop a higher taste. That will give you strength. We need to develop a higher taste. We need to enjoy on a higher plane. Otherwise, we will be greedy and we will be envious. And worker in mode of passion, impure, obviously, if they are envious, they have material desires, they are greedy, so they are impure, and subject to joy and sorrow. Harsha Shoka Anvita. So sometime you will be very happy because you get some sense enjoyment, and sometime you'll be miserable by seeing others enjoying their senses. You will become subjected to joy and sorrow. All ambitious worker, competitive people, Duryodhan. Sometime he would Duryodhan, if you see, when he saw Arjuna's army, when he saw they blowing Kaushal, he became depressed. And then when he saw Bhishma, they will fight and kill, then he became very joyful. So every day he would go through this joy and sorrow. He was extremely envious, very greedy for kingdom. He was fighting just for the sake of enjoying, and he was very attached. So perfect example of karta in passion. Then worker in mode of ignorance acts against scriptures. He break the regulative principle, kill the animal, have or desire to have illicit relationship with outside marriage, um, um, sometimes intoxicate, sometimes smokes, sometimes gambles, stock exchange. So he acts against scriptures. Um, um, in passion, you act according to scriptures, but you are just attached to the results. In goodness, you act according to scriptures, but you act for the sake of acting for a higher purpose. Then materialistic and whimsical. um, um, Whimsical means you are very sensual driven. Whatever mind says, you do. um, um, some people have mental problem, they come in this category, they are whimsical. um, Sometime, um, yeah, they do whatever mind says, and I have many examples that I have seen. um, then obstinate means jiddi, you are stubborn, you want to do what you want to do, you don't want to listen to anyone. That's a sign of ignorance. Cheating, he uses wrong means to get his work done. Cheating. Expert in insulting others, he's very harsh. The moment he gets an opportunity, he will uh, insult somebody else. He likes doing that. Such people, actually, it becomes very difficult for them to progress in Krishna consciousness. All of you are very fortunate, that because of your previous karma, you are favorably disposed towards advancement in spiritual life. So that's a sign of great fortune. Then worker in ignorance, they are expert in insulting others, they are lazy, um, morose, they're always sad, depressed form. Procrastinating, if something needs to be done, I will do it tomorrow. Can you buy the groceries today? Too tired, kal dekhenge, tomorrow. But there is nothing to cook in the home. दाल बना दो ना, दाल चावल चलेगा, that's enough. So whatever duty he has, he try to procrastinate. Procrastination is also a sign of ignorance. Okay, then understanding in three modes. As you can see, um, very clear understanding and very jumbled up, or no understanding. Everything is mixed up. So understanding is also in three modes. Intelligence, buddhi. So buddhi in goodness, buddhi in passion, buddhi in ignorance. Um, Buddhi, intelligence, understanding in goodness. He knows what is to be done, what is not to be done. He knows what is right, what is wrong. He knows. He knows that because he reads scriptures. So he get an understanding what is right, what is wrong. Um, One who doesn't know what is right, what is wrong, cannot distinguish between what is right, what is wrong. He is in passion. He is in passion. Um, Ignorance, he considers wrong as right, right as wrong. Um, so let's come to them one by one. Um, what is to be done, what is not to be done? Goodness, what is to be feared, what is not to be feared. So a devotee, anybody who reads scriptures, he has a clear understanding. Those who don't read scriptures, they are either in passion or in ignorance, and we'll come to that. So what is to be feared, what is not to be feared? um, what is to be feared, what is not to be feared? um, Fear comes because of material attachments. Fear comes attachment to the body, um, attachment to anything. All the insurances is because of fear. Health insurance, car insurance, life insurance, home insurance, all because of fear. um, so what is to be feared is actually, we should be fearful about offending devotees. We should be fearful about becoming proud. We should be fearful about um, uh, there is one sannyasi, Kadamakanana Maharaj. He said, the whole life is a training so I don't become proud. Krishna conscious life is a training, so how I can avoid becoming proud? It's a training. So this is to be feared. What is to be feared? Fear of Maya. When my attachment increases to asat, temporary things, if I'm becoming attached to material enjoyment, now Maya is capturing me. So this is to be feared. So these are all healthy fears. And what is not to be feared is um, uh, losing material things, any sort, not going in detail. People are very fearful about, well, it's okay, but in general people are very fearful about material things. So what is not to be feared? So this is understanding in goodness, what is binding, what is liberating. Because he knows what is to be done, what is not to be done. He knows this is going to bind me, this is going to liberate me. So devotees have very clear understanding, they know exactly. But some then there is understanding in passion, cannot distinguish between what is religion, what is irreligion, action to be done and action not to be done. So confusion is a sign of passion. I don't know what is right thing to do, what is wrong thing to do in this situation. Example is yogic brahmanas. So there is this particular instance now, very nice. You would love this story. Krishna Katha is always nice. We should always discuss about Krishna. Uh, so there is particular instance where one time Krishna, Balram, and all the cowherd boys, every day Krishna would go with his friends um, in the daytime, and they all would go to different forests, and they would have nice feasts together. um, the cows will herd. They're cowherd boys, so the cows will go astray, and they will play different kinds of games every day. So every day when Krishna and Balram goes out, servants of Krishna, Mother Yashoda sends servants for to bring lunch to Krishna and Balram. And likewise, all the parents, they would send somebody to deliver lunches. So they would take breakfast, they would go, and then somebody would come behind them in the afternoon to bring their lunch boxes. So on this particular day, which is a rare day, um, they were all very hungry, and nobody is bringing the lunch didn't arrive yet. So they were in anxiety. So they were very tired out of intense playing, jumping on each other, and they go far away in the forest and they run and they are very fatigued. So Madhu Mangal and Stoka Krishna, Arjuna, Subal, Sridama, these are all friends of Krishna. So they ask Krishna, Krishna, are you also hungry just like we are? We are so tired, we are so fatigued, we need something to eat. And Krishna understood, but simultaneously, what happened? Um, Not far away from where they were, in near the region of Mathura, there were some Brahmanas. It was a time for sacrifices. So these yogic Brahmanas, on a certain time every day, they perform fire sacrifice to please Narayan. So Krishna wanted to show his mercy to the wives of Brahmanas, because the wives of Brahmanas, they have never met Krishna. The gopis, they have never met Krishna, but they heard about Krishna, beauty of Krishna. They heard flute of Krishna. Flute of Krishna is so attractive. Anybody who hears the flute of Krishna, they become kind of um, they experience a divine bliss in their heart, and they become very absorbed and very attracted. So they heard the flute of Krishna, they heard beauty of Krishna, they heard the activities of Krishna, Krishna killing all the demons, and Krishna loving exchanges with devotees of Vrindavan. They heard about them. So they were very attracted to Krishna. In fact, it is described that some of them were um, totally lost out of their attachment to Krishna. So uh, Krishna wanted to show them his mercy. So he told some these cowherd boys that you go to that village, and they were not very enthusiastic because they were very fatigued. So Krishna told them, no, you go, and then you will find some Brahmanas, and you say, Krishna and Balram and we all are hungry, please give us some food. So they all went. The Brahmanas were outside their home, and they were putting fire, and they were making arrangements for yagya. So these friends told Brahmanas that we are hungry, we need some food. And the Brahmanas became very very upset, and they said, "Get lost." And they said, "But we are children. Scripture says that women and children should be protected. It's a religious principle. So you should not um, um, send us. We are beggars. We are begging food to you. So you should give whatever. If somebody is begging you as a grahastha, it's your duty to give. It's a religious principle, so please give." And the Brahmana said, "These are simply disturbance to my yagyas. Get lost." And these boys, they tried to convince them, but they were depressed, and they came back. And they came back morose, and they told Krishna Balram. And Krishna Balram said, beggars should not be attached to the results of their begging. We are beggars, so um, our profession is to beg. Sometime people will reciprocate to our begging, sometime people will not reciprocate, but we should not become depressed. So you should go again. And the cowherd boy said, no, we cannot go again. Krishna Balram said, go again. I am asking you, go again. This time you will be successful. But don't ask the Brahmanas, ask the wives of Brahmanas. And then they again went, and Krishna said, actually, they are all my devotees, and they will give you everything you need. So the friends again went, and the wives were cooking and they were sitting in one places participating yagya. It's all happening in the field area outside. So they went and they said Krishna and Balaram are hungry, and that was kind of a dream come true for them, because they were always longing to serve Krishna and they have no opportunity to serve Krishna. So um, they all took all the food that they cooked for the yagya, and the brahmanas became very upset and they started running, and they all brought so much food for Krishna and Balram. But just like if you water the root of the tree, everyone is nourished. When these um, devotees of Krishna, when they brought all the food for Krishna, Krishna was very satisfied. Krishna accepted their offering. And then um, when they went back, because Krishna is sitting in the heart of those Brahmanas also, Krishna gave them realization that purpose of um, this sacrifice is to please Narayan. And Narayan here himself is asking for food and you rejected him. So the Brahmanas came into the realization and they condemned themselves. And they considered their wives as so fortunate that Krishna accepted their offering. So they are much greater devotees. Although they are illiterate, uneducated, they are much greater devotees than we are. So this is a good example in confused intelligence. They are performing religious principles, they are acting according to scriptures, but they don't know what to do, what not to do. They don't know what is right, what is wrong. The purpose of all the sacrifice is to please Krishna, and when Krishna himself asked for food, they rejected him. So that's passionate understanding, intelligence in passion. And then okay, and then buddhi in understanding in ignorance considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion. So I know some people, um, I cannot tell these things because too weird, but they are attached to um, meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, basically, in a very crude way. They're attached to irreligion, and somebody tells them about religion, then they argue with them that they are right. Eating meat is right, there is nothing wrong in illicit relationships, intoxication, smoking, there is nothing wrong in doing that, there is nothing wrong in gambling. So for them, it is their dharma. So that is called understanding and ignorance. Take everything in the opposite direction to truth. Okay, so then determination in three modes. Determination which is unbreakable is in goodness. Passion determination is also unbreakable. Ignorance, they lack determination. Something needs to be done, it just yet to begin, never gets done. um, Goodness controls the activity of body, mind, and senses. Passion also, like if you want to be determined, you need to control the mind and senses. Like if you want to be determined to chant 16 rounds every day, um, your mind will say no. So you need to have some control over your mind. I remember I was doing my masters, and um, I was a student. I was chanting, I think I was chanting 6 rounds or 8 rounds or 4 rounds, something, I don't remember. And then there was um, one student from South Africa, and she was chanting 16 rounds every day. And I asked her during the exam time, also, you chant 16 rounds? And she said, yeah, I may be chanting 2 rounds only, I don't remember. Yeah, I chant 16 rounds, I get up in the morning, chant 16, then I go and give the exam. And I was thinking, this is impossible. I was thinking, there is so much pressure, I study whole night. She would sleep, and she just, because of her chanting, she knew how to effectively handle the time. Chanting gives you that, because Krishna says time I am. When you chant Krishna's name, you start becoming very efficient with your time. So she would take good rest, she would study well, and she would get very good uh, marks in her master's degree and got a very good job. And I was thinking, wow. And another thing I was thinking, she can sit at one place in 2 hours and she can chant the holy names. How much mind control is required that she can sit and her mind does not if. And then that time I was thinking, if I sit down and I chant 15 minutes, my mind tells me, get up. Are just 15 minutes, and my mind tells me, I want to do something else now. I am bored. I am chanting for past 10-15 minutes. So then I was thinking, if at all I can start chanting 16 rounds, I will have so much control over my mind. And that will be so beneficial. Then I can tell the mind to do whatever I want him to do. Right now mind is my boss, he tells me what to do. So it's very uncontrolled. So determination requires control of body, mind and senses. You sit down for chanting, after 10 minutes the tongue says I want to eat, the eye says I want to see something, and all the senses starts demanding. So our mind is very uncontrolled. Krishna says, for those whose mind is uncontrolled, self realization is a difficult task. If you are not working on your mind, you are not working on your Krishna consciousness. And then Arjuna asks, I can move the wind, I cannot control the mind. Mind is too difficult, too stubborn. uh, Chanchal just keeps running here and there. uh, Too difficult, I just can't do it. Krishna says, practice, 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 practice. If you're not practicing, then you are telling the mind, aham dasosmi, I am your servant, my dear mind. You are unbridled, you are uncontrolled, you are nonsense, but I am your servant. My life is meant to serve you. I don't want to displease you. You want to do what you want to do, I'll support you. Mind says, he's my das, he's my servant. So that's called godas. Do you want to become Goswami or do you want to become Godas? Goswami means whatever mind says, I will do what I want to do, what is the right thing to do, and mind has to listen to me what I say. Godas means I know what is right thing to do. My mind does not want me to do, so I will not do it. So then we become Godas. So that's why great devotees, they are called Goswamis. Go means mind and senses, and Swami means master. So they are master of their mind and senses. So determination in goodness and passion, you require control over mind and senses. But go das means dasos me. I am servant of my mind. For those people, self-realization becomes very difficult task. Now, how do I get the determination? You get determination by gradually progressing in your Krishna consciousness. And my experience, if you work on your Krishna consciousness, if you can bring your mind under control by doing strict sadhana every day, your mind will be controlled in all other activities. Otherwise, while working also, you will think of Facebook and you will think of WhatsApp, and you will think of many different places where I can have little free time and little sense gratification, where I can do this and this and this and this. So mind, Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, spiritual master Srila Prabhupada said, he said how to deal with the mind. And he said, every day when you get up in the morning, if you want to train the mind, take a boot and hit your mind, and like a shoe and hit your mind. How many times? He said 100 times, hit your mind. How do we hit the mind with the shoe? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Mind says, leave me. And you say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Mind says, this is nonsense, leave me. And you say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Mind is creating havoc. And you're like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then what happens after certain days? Mind starts accepting you. Mind starts telling, he is not going to listen to me. So better I listen to him. Then mind comes in different ways. How? Um, Mind says, okay, he is going to chant, but I am going to distract him. Mind is determined to not listen. We are determined for mind to listen to the holy name. And then this is called tug of war. There is this fighting. Then mind says while chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, check if any phone call came. Oh, no phone call came. Check any messages. Oh, maybe I have to reply to this person, that person. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then mind says the ground is too big, not getting over. Then you look at the chanting beats. Uh, there is some remaining. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Mind says you're very tired. Want to take some rest. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Let's eat something. Something nice to eat. What are we cooking, by the way? Let us discuss what are we cooking. So mind is determined to distract us. Mind doesn't want to listen, but it's something we have to work on. Krishna says abhyasena to kauntaya vairagena cha griyate. Abhyas, you practice. You Krishna says you are too weak with your mind. This mind is the cause of your next birth. It is very important to control your mind. Otherwise, this mind, because right now it is contemplating on sense gratification and enjoyment, um, at the time of death also, mind is not going to change its nature unless you train him. If you keep the mind uncontrolled, the mind will think of sense gratification at the time of death, and that will be the cause of your next birth. Krishna says in 13th chapter, just like the air carries the aroma when it passes through either garbage or flowers, likewise the mind carries the impression whatever however the life goes through, and mind develops certain attachments, and those attachments becomes dear to you, and that is the next birth. Because of uncontrolled mind attached to deer, Maharaj Bharat got a form of a deer. Because of uncontrolled mind of all this, whether it is Puranjan or anybody else, they got the next form because of the uncontrolled mind. So Krishna says, be intelligent, Arjuna. This mind is, Krishna says, if it is not controlled, it is your worst enemy. How do you deal with the enemy? If an enemy comes to you, like if somebody brings machine guns that can take your life and knock at you and enter, what will you do? Will you say, how are you doing? No, you will become very careful. What do I do? How can I escape? You will be very careful. Likewise, if the mind is the worst enemy and the mind is having so many demands for you, what you should do? Should you surrender to mind, fulfill all the mind's demands? Mind is nonsense. And the thing, mind has so many impressions. Mind is attached. Mind want you to do sinful activities. And if you're not strong with your mind, you will do sinful activities. So Krishna says, well, this is this is a too powerful enemy we are dealing with. Who is our worst enemy? One time recently I was talking to very senior devotee, our leader of ISKCON. Her name is Mother Malti. And I was telling him, what are the obstacles in making spiritual progress? How can we ensure that we don't get stuck, or we don't get diverted? What are the obstacles? And she said there is one obstacle: your mind. If your mind is with you, nothing will stop you. But if you let the mind go loose, um, Srimad Bhagavatam says the mind will kill the soul. Soul is eternal. Mind will kill the soul means mind will deviate you, from the path of self realization to the path of sense gratification. These are the only two options. Either you realize yourself or you gratify your senses. There is no third option. There is no in between. So one has to be strict with your mind. In fact, one devotee told me, whatever mind tells you to do, don't do it. So we have to become strong, and whatever mind tells you not to do, you do it. So one has to be little careful while dealing with one's mind and practice. At some places, if it is within Krishna consciousness, you can let the mind loose. For example, Prabhupada said we have to enjoy somewhere. So eat nice prasadam. Prabhupada said, eat up to your neck, eat 20 times a day, eat whatever you like, if it is offered to Krishna. Now, this is sense enjoyment permitted in a way you won't degrade in your Krishna consciousness. If your health is not deteriorating, if you can digest, you can eat whatever you like. That's perfectly all right. So, but sinful activities, regulated principles, um, chanting, don't compromise there. Do your sadhana very nicely, and within Krishna consciousness, whatever you can enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Then, determination in goodness driven by yoga avyabhicharena, steady devotional service. Now, goodness and passion, what is the difference? Both requires, both determination is unbreakable, both have control over mind and senses. um, 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 but determination to make steady spiritual progress, that is determination goodness. And determination for sense gratification, determination for more wealth, that becomes determination in passion. And ignorance remain in state of dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, illusion. I want to do, so this is called dreaming, but I never get done. um, um, l- Fearfulness, if I do, it will be too uncomfortable, it's too difficult, I cannot do. So fearfulness, that's why I don't do, because I'm afraid of something. And lamentation, um, I can't do it, it's very difficult, I can't do it, so I'm lamenting over myself. This is all sign of ignorance, sign of ignorance. I can't do it. It is too difficult to do. I will do in the future. This is all dreaming and illusion. Illusion means, what is the need to do? Why should I do? So this is called determination. We remain in a state of illusion. We remain in a state of ignorance, thinking that that's okay, just enjoy life. Who knows? So even after knowing, we kind of don't want to act on it because we are going through dreaming, fearfulness, and lamentation. So these all are the sign of determination and ignorance. Um, Chanting for spiritual progress, chanting for sense gratification, and I really want to chant. It's a very nice thing to do. I really want to do, but I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. And it just remains I will. So that becomes determination. Example, Prahlad Maharaj Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu, what a determination he had. He raised his hand and he did not eat anything. And he stood on the tip of his toes, not even on the foot, on the toes. He stood on the fingers practically. Um, Hot sun, his body started, if you don't eat anything, your body kind of becomes very thin, and uh, and the ants came, and the ants started eating his body, and he kept his hand like this. It is said that practically his bones were visible. That much severe austerity Hiranyakashipu do. Can we do that? Do we have that kind of determination? I don't have. I don't have that kind of determination. Hiranyakashipu had that. That's why he became so powerful. But what was his purpose? What was the determination for? Sense gratification. I want to kill Vishnu, and I want to become the king. I want to enjoy. So many people in this material world, especially successful materialists, they are very they are very determined in their work. They are very driven and determined, but it is all nonsense because the goal is sense gratification. I want to become the richest man. I want my company to go to Fortune 500. I want everybody to respect me because the goal is sense gratification. No matter what they achieve, the whole human life is wasted. Wasted because then you become a cat or dog or something in the next life. What is the use? Krishna says, use your intelligence, have a clear understanding what is to be done, what is not to be done. After after you leave your body, nothing is going to come with you. You're working so hard for nothing is going to come with you. How much advancement you have made in your Krishna consciousness, that's the only thing that is going to come with you. You will leave everything behind, whether it is living persons or non-living material things. You will leave everything behind. Just your progress will go with you. So determination was there, but the goal of determination was sense gratification. But Prahlad Maharaj, what a determination he had. But his determination was, um, for pleasing and depending on Krishna. He was fully determined, no matter what happens, whether I am thrown amidst the snakes, thrown from the cliff, put into the fire, um, um, or trampled under an elephant, I am determined to take shelter of Krishna. So that is another great example of determination. But determination was avicharina bhakti, steady devotional service. So if you cannot do anything in life, that's all right. At least have determination in your Krishna consciousness. If you are, see, if you become determined in your Krishna consciousness, you will become determined in all different phases of life. You will become determined in taking care of family, determined in your work and job. You will, whatever nature you have at one place, you will exhibit everywhere. It is seen that people who are very successful materially, very intelligent, hardworking, uh, successful, they take Krishna consciousness also that much seriously. And people who are very, um, weak and loose and unsuccessful materially, they take Krishna consciousness also in the same way. Why? Because one cannot change one's nature. Whatever you are at one place, you will exhibit the same qualities everywhere else. If you're a very responsible person, then you will be very responsible when it comes to Krishna service. If you're a very irresponsible person, when it comes to Krishna service, you will take it very lightly and nobody will trust you to give you any service. Nobody will have faith on you. So what we have to do is, if you work on your Krishna consciousness, we have to work, even to become better in our material life. We have to work on ourselves to become successful. Better you work on yourself in a Krishna conscious way, then you are progressing spiritually also. Otherwise you will just become more and more attached. So you work more seriously in your Krishna consciousness. The qualities you develop here, that will reflect everywhere. That's why it is commonly seen, a person who is stable, determined, um, in practicing Krishna consciousness, his whole material life also becomes very glorious and successful. Of course, if we do it for that purpose, it becomes passion. But you just do it to please Krishna, but you will find yourself successful in every field in your life. If you just work on your Krishna consciousness. Okay, and now, uh, determination in Krishna consciousness. Um, we'll just discuss couple of slides and we'll end with this topic. Um, in the mind of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to Supreme Lord does not take place. So Krishna says, if you are too attached to sense gratification, you cannot be determined to advance in Krishna consciousness. So sense gratification, Krishna consciousness go ill together. You cannot be like, it's like, you cannot enjoy material life fully and become very successful in the Krishna consciousness. It won't happen. Won't happen. It's okay in the beginning. It's like, um, the example of, you are in an ocean and there are two boats, and you have 2 foot on the two boats, and they're walking in parallel. That's okay in the beginning, but slowly the boats will drift away. So either Krishna consciousness is important to you, or sense gratification is important to you, based on how much control you have on your mind. If Krishna conscious is important to you, you have to leave your foot from this boat and get into this boat. Then you go back to Godhead. If material sense gratification is important to you, you have to leave Krishna conscious, get into this boat, and continue cycle of birth and death. So choice is yours. But people who are too attached to sense gratification, um, they cannot be determined in their Krishna consciousness. So one has to control the mind in that direction. Okay, so I guess we will stop here. Are there any discussion, any question? Okay, I'm very grateful to all of you. Uh, when I speak, sometimes I speak more. If I speak anything that may hurt you, please forgive me. Um, I just simply desire that we all go closer to Krishna. My obeisances to all of you. Vancha kalpatarubhescha kripa sindhu evacha patita nam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavendra ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Very grateful to all of you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.